When Wild Dog reached the mouth of the cave, he lifted up the dried horse skin with his nose and sniffed the beautiful smell of the roast mutton. And the woman, looking at the blade bone, heard him and laughed and said, "Here comes the first wild thing of the wild woods. What do you want?" Wild Dog said, "Whoa, oh, my enemy and wife of my enemy, what is it that smells so good in the wild woods?" Then the woman picked up a roasted mutton bone and threw it to Wild Dog and said, "Wild thing of the wild woods, taste and try." Wild Dog gnawed the bone, and it was more delicious than anything he had ever tasted. And he said, "Oh, my enemy and wife of my enemy, give me another." The woman said, "Wild thing of the wild woods, help my man to hunt through the day and guard this cave at night, and I will give you as many roast bones as you need."
Oh,
said the cat, listening.
This is a very wise woman, but she's not so wise as I am.
Wild Dog crawled into the cave and laid his head on the woman's lap and said, Oh, my friend and wife of my friend, I will help your man to hunt through the day, and at night I will guard your cave.
But in Rose
said the cat, listening.
That is a very foolish dog.
And he went back through the wet wild woods, waving his wild tail and walking by his wild lone, but he never told anybody. When the man waked up, he said, "What is Wild Dog doing here?" And the woman said, "His name is not Wild Dog anymore, but the first friend, because he will be our friend for always and always and always. Take him with you when you go hunting." Next night, the woman cut great green armfuls of fresh grass from the water meadows and dried it before the fire, so that it smelt like new-mown hay. And she sat at the mouth of the cave and plaited a halter out of the horsehide. And she looked at the shoulder of mutton bone, at the big broad blade bone, and she made a magic. She made the second singing magic in the world. Out in the wild woods, all the wild animals wondered what had happened to Wild Dog. And at last, Wild Horse stamped his foot and said, "I will go and see, and say why Wild Dog has not returned. Cat, come with me." Said the cat.
What does that say anyway?
I am the cat who walks by himself.
I am the cat who walks by himself. In all places where I like to be, I will not come.
But all the same, he followed Wild Horse softly, very softly, and hid himself where he could hear everything. When the woman heard Wild Horse tripping and stumbling on his long mane, she laughed and said, "Here comes the second wild thing of the wild woods. What do you want?" Wild Horse said, "Oh, enemy and wife of my enemy, where is Wild Dog?" The woman laughed and picked up the blade bone and looked at it and said, "Wild thing of the wild woods, you did not come here for Wild Dog, but for the sake of this good grass." And Wild Horse, tripping and stumbling on his long mane, said, "This is not true. This is true. Give it to me to eat." The woman said, "Wild thing of the wild woods, bend your wild head, and wear what I give you, and you shall eat the wonderful grass 3 times a day."
Oh,
said the cat, listening.
This is a very clever woman, but she's not as clever as I am.
Wild Horse bent his wild head, and the woman slipped the plaited hide halter over it, and Wild Horse breathed on the woman's feet and said, "Oh, my mistress and wife of my master, I will be your servant for the sake of the wonderful grass."
Oh,
said the cat, listening.
That is a very foolish horse.
And he went back through the wet wild woods, weaving his wild tail and walking by his wild lone, but he never told anybody. When the man and the dog came back from hunting, the man said, "What is Wild Horse doing here?" And the woman said, "His name is not Wild Horse anymore, but the first servant, because he will carry us from place to place for always and always and always, right on his back when you go hunting." Next day, holding her wild head high that her wild horns should not catch in the wild trees, Wild Cow came up to the cave, and the cat followed, and hid himself just the same as before. And everything happened just the same as before, and the cat said the same things as before. And when Wild Cow had promised to give her milk to the woman every day in exchange for the wonderful grass, the cat went back through the wet wild woods, waving his wild tail, and walking by his wild lone, just the same as before. But he never told anybody, and when the man and the horse and the dog came home from hunting and asked the same questions as before, the woman said, "Her name is not Wild Cow anymore, but the giver of good food. She will give us the warm white milk for always and always and always, and I will take care of her while you and the first friend and the first servant go hunting." Next day, the cat waited to see if any of the other wild things would come up and go up to the cave, But no one moved in the wet wild woods, so the cat walked there by himself. And he saw the woman milking the cow, and he saw the light of the fire in the cave, and he smelt the smell of the warm white milk. Cat said,
Oi! Oh, my enemy, and wife of my enemy, where did wild cow go?
The woman laughed and said, Wild thing of the wild woods, go back to the woods again, for I've braided up my hair, and I've put away the magic blade blown, and we have no more need of either friends or servants in our cave. Cat said,
I am no friend, and I'm not a servant. I am the cat who walks by himself, and I wish to come in your cave.
Woman said, Then why did you not come with first friend on the first night? Cat grew very angry and said,
Has Wild Dog told you tales of me?
Then the woman laughed and said, Ha ha! You are the cat who walks by himself, and all places are alike to you. You are neither a friend nor a servant. You have said it yourself. Go away and walk by yourself, and all places alike. Then Cat pretended to be sorry and said,
Must I never come into the cave? Must I never sit by the warm fire? Must I never drink the warm white milk? You are very wise and beautiful. You should not be cruel here to a cat.
Woman said, I knew I was wise, but I did not know I was beautiful, so I will make a bargain with you. If I ever say one word in your praise, you may come into the cave.
And if you say 2 words in my praise,
said the cat. I never shall, said the woman. But if I say 2 words in your praise, you may sit by the fire in the cave.
And if you say 3 words,
said the cat. I never shall, said the woman. But if I say 3 words in your praise, you may drink the warm white milk 3 times a day, for always and always and always. Then the cat arched his back and said,
Now let the curtain and the mouth of the cave and the fire and the back of the cave of my enemy and the wife of my enemy has said.
And he went away through the wet wild woods, waving his wild tail and walking by his wild lone. That night, when the man and the horse and the dog came home from hunting, the woman did not tell them of the bargain that she made with the cat, because she was afraid that they might not like it. Cat went far and far away and hid himself in the wet wild woods by his wild lone for a long time, till the woman forgot all about him. Only the bat, the little upside-down bat that hung inside the cave, knew where Cat hid, and every evening Bat would fly to Cat with news of what was happening. One evening Bat said, There is a baby in the cave. He is new and pink and fat and small, and the woman is very fond of him.
Oh,
said the cat, listening.
But what is the baby fond of?
He is fond of things that are soft and tickle, said the bat. He is fond of warm things to hold in his arms when he goes to sleep. He is fond of being played with. He is fond of all those things.
Oh,
said the cat, listening.
Then my time has come.
Next night, Cat walked through the wet wild woods and hid very near the cave till morning time. And man and dog and horse went hunting. The woman was busy cooking that morning, and the baby cried and interrupted. So she carried him outside the cave and gave him a handful of pebbles to play with. But still the baby cried. Then the cat put out his patty paw and patted the baby on the cheek, and it cooed. And the cat rubbed against its fat knees and tickled it under its fat chin with its tail. And the baby laughed, and the woman heard him and smiled. Then the bat, the little upside-down bat that hung in the mouth of the cave, said, Oh, my hostess and wife of my host, and mother of my host's son, a wild thing from the wild woods is most beautifully playing with your baby. A blessing on that wild thing, whoever he may be, said the woman, straightening her back, for I was a most busy woman this morning, and he has done me a service. That very minute and second, best beloved, the dried horse-skin curtain that was stretched tail down at the mouth of the cave fell down, whoosh, because it remembered the bargain she had made with the cat. And when the woman went to pick it up, lo and behold, the cat was sitting quite comfy inside the cave.
Oh, my enemy, and wife of my enemy, and mother of my enemy,
said the cat.
It is I, for you have spoken a word in my prayer.
Now I can sit.
Oh, and I'll just sit within the cave for hours and hours and hours. But still, I am the cat who walks by himself, and all places are alike to me.
The woman was very angry and shut her lips tight and took up her spinning wheel and began to spin. But the baby cried because the cat had gone away, and the woman could not hush it, for it struggled and kicked and grew black in the face.
Oh, my enemy and wife of my enemy and mother of my enemy,
said the cat.
Spinning and tie it to your spinning.
And drag it along.
And drag it along. Where is that?
The floor.
And drag it along the floor. And I will show you a magic that shall make your baby laugh as loud